Hi everyone, and Shabbat Shalom. We are here in Israel an hour before Shabbat, and I know that for you it's Friday morning. And how do we say? Shabbat Shalom and happy to be Shabbat to you. This time we would like to talk about the portion of beshalch and what's coming up this coming Shabbat, as it's also to Bishvat, the first like Rosh Hashanah of the trees of the vegetation system, and this is the Shabbat with the song of crossing the sea, the miracle of the 72 names, and the truth is what we would like to know is how can we connect with that. And I would like to start with first just looking at the most important points in the parasha, some of the important points. It speaks that we came towards to the Dead Sea, and behind us Pharaoh is chasing with the chariots, and the two sides full of vicious animals, or the desert that was there, and we were asking God, please create for us the miracle. And the miracle took place, and we entered through the water. And there are few aspects that were given to us about the effect of the miracle. Because it says there, over there, God is telling to the people of Israel, I am going to do the miracle, you should be quiet. On the other hand, God was saying to Moses, what do you want from me? Tell the people to move into the water. Tell them to start moving. We have the story about the Joseph, the righteous, that his bones were carried to Israel. And as the people that carried the coffin of Joseph reached the water splitted. And we have the story of Nachshon ben Aminadav, the person that jumped into the water, was the first one to jump, and he was walking into the water, as the Midrash is telling us, they reached till his mouth, and eventually the water splitted. The question is, why do we need to know all of these stories about the splitting of the Red Sea? It's not enough just to know that Moses was making the miracle with the 72 names and that's it. What they are trying to tell us. Because if they are giving us all of these commentaries, it means that each one of them is teaching us another aspect in the process, and maybe there they are teaching us the important part of how do we need to prepare ourselves towards creating miracles in our life. Because having the chart of the 72 names, knowing the names, and knowing certain meanings to the names doesn't guarantee a person to have a miracle in his life. The person needs to do something more in order to have that miracle. It says that when the water splitted, God was saying to Moses, tell them to move. And Moses is telling the people, God will fight for you, and you should be silent. The question is why? And what's the difference between the miracle of the splitting of the sea to the 10 strikes that Egypt is receiving, the 10 plagues and the 10 makot that Egypt is receiving? It wasn't enough for the people of Israel, the miracles in Egypt, that they needed to go through another miracle of the splitting of the sea. It wasn't enough for Pharaoh, what he had in Egypt, that he needed another one chasing the people of Israel. You didn't get the message already till now. By now you should get the message. It's happening many times to us as well, that it's taking too long till we get the message that the light is giving us. So there is here a very important issue. A Kabbalist in Israel named Chaim Cohen is explaining in his book about the splitting of the Red Sea. And in part of it he is asking the question, what is the difference between the miracle of splitting of the Red Sea to the miracles before? And we need to understand that in that miracle, the people of Israel were experiencing it while walking through the sea. And in the same time that they were walking and crossing, behind them, the Egyptians start to drown in the sea. It was a miracle to Israel. It was a mercy for Israel, while it was judgment for the Egyptian. It was like two contradiction actions at the same time. Energy of mercy and energy of judgment at the same time. And it says over there that the splitting of the sea was with the Yad HaGdolah of God, with the big hand of God. And we know according to Kabbalah that Yad HaGdolah means the energy of mercy, the emanation of mercy. So the miracle of splitting of the Red Sea is taking place with the energy of mercy of God. So how it could turn to be judgment to the Egyptian. So first thing we need to understand that the mercy was for the people of Israel. Because God wanted to save the people of Israel. And because of loving them so much, He channeled to them protection with the energy of mercy, created the miracle with the energy of mercy, and at the same time, people that wanted to hurt the people of Israel got hurt instead. It's because they wanted to hurt, they got hurt by the same attribute, which is the mercy of God. It turned to be judgment to them. Because truly the mercy was towards the people of Israel. So if someone wants to hurt them, then it's turned to be judgment to him at the same moment. So it's still, the overall energy is mercy for the people of Israel. And what God wanted to tell us in that moment. What's the experience that we needed to go through? So we know the first experience was that before the splitting of the Red Sea took place, we were asked to move. So physically where to? To the water, jump into the lake. And the idea is to move internally, to move from a low level of trusting the light to a high level of trusting the light, trusting God. And while crossing the sea, seeing in the eyes and experiencing the miracle. And I would like to explain. Sometimes people are thinking and trying with the power of the mind to create a place of parking for them. They are driving somewhere, and they decide, they determine in their mind, I'm going to find a parking spot when I'm going to get there. It can be the center of the city. I'm going to find a parking spot. There is one level of experience is to think that way. Another level is to experience that when you get there, the parking spot is waiting for you with no trouble. Now, you do it the first time, you experience it and you feel something about that. You do it second, third, fourth, you start to experience it more. And then you come to a certain certainty inside of you that you know the parking spot is waiting for me. It's already there. So therefore you don't think the parking will be there. The parking spot is already waiting for me. Experiencing it is something else than thinking about this. Feeling it, being into the process, it's something else. Believing in God before the sea splitted, it's one thing. Believing in God while crossing the sea, and you see the water from the two sides, and the Egyptians drowning behind you, and you cross through the sea, then the trust and believing in God is totally different level. You are seeing God. This is what they said about the story of splitting of the Red Sea, that even the lowest person in Israel saw the chariots of God and saw all the miracle in such way that it's more than what the prophet Ezekiel saw in his prophecies. So therefore, the seeing of the miracle created something inside of them. And therefore we came to a very high level of trusting light. The reason that I'm saying it is because that if we want to connect with the 72 names, if we want to connect with the energy of miracles, we need to bring ourselves to a higher level of consciousness and trusting the light and believing in the light. And this is what I would like to say from Rabbi Chaim Cohen in his book. It says, Kadosh Baruch Hu is connecting to those that are nullifying and are cancelling their own ego. Which means, he's saying over here that there is a big rule in the work, in the spiritual work. That if someone want to go out from any type of slavery of this physical corporeal world, we need to have just one master. And this is HaKadosh Baruch Hu. This is the light. If someone has another master upon him beside the Almighty, then he cannot be free. Then he cannot experience the miracle the way that it should be. What could be the master of a person? The emotions. A person is slave to certain emotions. They love me, they don't love me, what they think about me. A person is slave to the money and need the money to have the trust that everything would be okay. So the person think that the physical protection is what will make it. I need the physical walls to protect me. We all go through that. And what we are learning over here, that if we want to be truly free, then we should have just one master, which is the Almighty, the light of God, and not the rest, because all the rest is a result of what the light provides us. If we trust the light properly, all the rest will be in the right place. But to trust in such a way as someone for 100 times saying in his mind, the parking spot is waiting for me, and for 100 times he sees the parking spot there. As he comes, he has a parking place. The same way we need to trust the light, that we know that the light is here right now. And then we can connect to that channel that what we ask would manifest. We are not there. But this is the work that we need to do with this portion. We need to elevate our consciousness. This is why it says that if someone really wants to experience the miracles, he needs to visualize as right now he is crossing the ocean. Not as it was or as it will be. Now I need to feel that now I'm crossing. It's happening now. I'm in the process now. I'm in the water. I'm in between the water right now. The Egyptians behind, drowning in the water right now. The miracle is taking place for me right now, not tomorrow. Therefore, when we are asking with the 72 names, any type of, anything that we ask, we need to feel as it is right now, exists already. It didn't manifest yet, but it exists right now. This is the way that we should ask. So therefore, we need to understand that the idea of having just the Almighty as the only boss upon us, that we should be slaves to the light, all of us, we do need spiritual teachers. Or we need guidance. We need guidance in business. We need guidance in health. We need assistance in different areas of our life. Education. We need that. But we should not replace the teacher, whoever it will be. We should not replace him in God. This what would guarantee that the person will have a freedom of choice, and the person will have the chance to make the right decisions when it's the most needed. I'll give an example. When we came to enter to the land of Israel, Moses had to send 12 spies into the land. 10 of them came back and they spoke evil tongue upon the land. And they gave the message to the entire nation. 2 of the 12 are saying, no, this is a lie, it's not correct. Moses is saying, it's not correct. But to whom did we believe? Most of us. We did believe to the 10 leaders that said a lie upon the land of Israel. Why? If all the people would have the Almighty as the only boss, then something in their soul will give them the strength to know the proper answer and not to believe to the lie. Which means each one saw the leader of his tribe as his God. It was wrong. It was wrong. We need to have spiritual teachers, but we need eventually to make our own decisions. This is why it's essential that in this parasha we will ask and we will try to make a spiritual move inside of us to elevate ourselves to the consciousness of trusting the light, and the teachers that are in between are messengers, and we would know when the messenger is making a mistake. We need to understand that. We need to come to the point that our soul will tell us, no, this is a mistake, it's not right for me anymore. Because eventually, after 120 years, we cannot blame no one for our choices. Because we do have a choice in this world. So therefore, we need to take responsibility. So what would be the proper compass? Having God, having the Almighty as the only one that we are slave to. And we should not be slave to all the exterior things that there are in this world. So this is a very essential point over here. This is essential also for what we have over here in this parashat that is associated with sustenance. Because after the story of the splitting of the Red Sea, the 72 names, there is the story of the manna in the desert. That God is starting to provide manna in the desert. So the sages are saying that this is like an amulet, like a magic form for good sustenance. To read every day that portion in the Bible that speaks about the manna. It's in this parasha, in the portion of beshalch. And then it can bring good sustenance to the person. So the idea is that the true meaning is that if someone reads this paragraph carefully and is totally excited from the great appearance of the light force that is giving food for millions in the desert from nowhere, every day provides them with the manna, every day provides them with bread. They don't need to work for it, almost at all, just to go out of the tent and to gather it. It's not like seeding the ground and harvesting and creating the flour and all the process that is involved till eventually having bread. Bread that is mixed with energies of good and bad that eventually our body needs to separate between the good and the bad. We are speaking about food that was just good, totally good. There was nothing bad into that food. It goes into the body and giving healing to all the organs of the body. That type of food. So if someone reads that paragraph and is totally amazed from the miracle that God is doing over here, then a person is coming to the understanding of what is the power of the light force, and the person would come to a total trust that the light is providing each one of us every day, day in and day out. And this is the real meaning of what it says in the States on the dollar, in God we trust. To come to the full trust that it's not the boss, and it's not the economical situation that determines if we would have what we have or not. It's between us and the light. And if someone will totally trust the light, he will be provided with what he needs every day of his life. To come to that realization, it's not easy in the world that we are living in today. And this is the same idea as the 72 names, that if we want to create miracles through the 72 names, if we want to experience the miracles, if we want that the Red Sea will split for us in our life and each one of us have a different type of Red Sea in life that he wished that will split for him or for her. So therefore, here it's the same thing, is to elevate our consciousness to trusting the light. And this is why the biggest test that we are having immediately after crossing the Red Sea, 3 days later, we have a doubt if God is with us or not, because we didn't have water. And eventually, Moses is throwing a stick into the water and they are getting sweet and we have water. It says over there that there was a test over there. The result of that doubt was the nation of Amalek. The nation that is totally disconnected from having the light force as the only force upon them. Totally in the world of separation. And they came and attacked the people of Israel as a result of the doubt. So therefore, troubles are attacking us in life in order that we will elevate our consciousness to total trust in the light. Which means when in the past, in this lifetime or another lifetime, we had doubts how the light force is working, or maybe we judged the way that God is working in His world, then we created room for Amalek, for the troubles to come into our life. This is why, that if someone wants to connect through meditation to the holy names or the 72 names or any other name, we need to come into a state of mind in which we do not judge anything around us. We do not judge others. We understand the situation and we accept it as is. We do not judge it. We don't judge ourselves if we are more or less than others. This is what is. This is the way that we are. This is the way that we are, and we want to be the best that we can be. We want to manifest our potential. And it's not that we are less or more than others, because the light force loves each one of us the same way. It's hard for us to understand, so maybe geometrically it would be easier. In terms of examinations, in the Tree of Life we are learning that the light force created the vessel. And it was created at the beginning as a middle point. In the middle of infinity, there is infinite desire to receive. My question is, if geometrically, try to put, where is the middle in infinity? So logically, wherever you are going to put a spot in the infinite, it would be the middle, the center of the infinite. It would be in the middle of the infinite. Now, if I'm having one spot over here, and another spot over here, which one is the middle? I have two spots now. Truly, both are in the middle of the infinite, because around this point there is infinite to each direction. If I'm doing illustration, it's not like that physically, because it's not physical, it's spiritual, but just to go step by step to the next point. So if I have one spot over here, around that spot there is infinite to each direction. Infinite because the light is infinite. The creation is infinite. Now, if I have that spot, around that spot, the light is infinite. So it's in the middle of the infinite as well. So everywhere in the universe, it's like the middle of the universe if we speak physically. Now, physically, the distance between each one of us to the light is the same. Now, spiritually, even if we will be different from one another, because the light is infinite, then what would be the difference between this place to the infinite or this place to the infinite? Like someone is higher spiritually and someone is lower spiritually. From the infinite, there is a difference. To the infinite, from the point of view of the infinite, from the point of view of the light, there is no difference. So the difference lies inside of us, for us. It's not from the point of view of the light. The light loves everyone the same. Now, if I want to connect to the light, I need to be in the frequency of the light. That there is no difference between one to another. There is no high and low, a better person and lower person. It's better or worse for me to understand how should I behave. I want connection with that person or I don't want connection with that person. It's not judging the person. We do judge if I need to be in contact or not with that individual. To listen, not to listen. To learn from, not to learn from. It's not about the other person. It's about me. But if I'm going out for me and I'm judging the other person, the ego of the other person, the misbehavior of the other person or whatever, she's more or less, then it's the wrong game, it's the wrong frequency. I'm taking myself and shifting me away from the frequency of the light. So if I want to connect with the light, I cannot be in that frequency. I should not judge no one outside of myself, just for judging them. It's wrong. I need to understand the reality to know how should I be closer to the light. So therefore I need to accept the reality as is, which this thing is not that easy sometimes when it speaks about things that we experience with our relatives. To accept it as is, it's hard for us, without judging it, without being insulted from certain things, without thinking it's not fair why they do it to me, and we do it day in and day out. We are entering to those frequencies. Even I'm not saying emotions, frequencies. So therefore, if I want the light, I need to be in that frequency of the light. So what to do in order to get closer? First is to nullify all of the thoughts of more and less, better and worse. I am less or more than others. At least for time of doing a meditation, of connecting. At least for tomorrow morning, while reading the Torah and wanting to connect with the 72 names. There's no more or less. This is the power of unity. This is love thy neighbor as thyself. This is Rabbi Shimon and his friends in the cave, in the Idra Rabbah, when they started to reveal the Zohar. They didn't see themselves as more and less. They saw themselves as friends, that each one is equally important for the process. That without one of them, the process won't be complete. They needed 10 people, that process will be the way that it was. It was a minyan. 10 people. So it's not more and less. They were equally important even though that they were different people. Different levels of souls. Different root from Adam, from the point of view of the soul. That doesn't matter. It's not easy to be there, but if we want to start to create miracles in our life and to change the environment around us, we need to be in that frequency, at least in time of prayer, at least in time of meditation, to start there. At least then. So therefore, and with that energy, we'll be able to draw light that create miracles in our life. There is an energy of health and healing, which is very powerful, with the verse in chapter 15, verse 26. Chapter 15 in Exodus, verse 26. That speaks about all the sickness that I was placing upon Egypt. I won't put upon you. I won't put upon you because I'm your God, your healer. A very powerful energy of healing that there is over here. So, the bottom point that I'm saying about this parasha and about the spiritual connection is that the person, if he wants to be free, he needs to have just one boss, the light force of God. Not to be subjected to nothing. And it's not easy, but not to be subjected to nothing. To have spiritual teachers, but not to be, not to place ourselves in control of others. Not to place ourselves. It's not others that are doing it, it's us that we let other people to be in control of us. And we need to be free people. It's between us and the light. And if we will trust the light truly, then we'll be truly free people. It's not easy at that level, but we want to go, first we need to understand it in order that we'll be able to step up towards there. As it says about Rabbi Chaim Ben Attar, the big Kabbalist that lived in Morocco, and he was a jeweler. He knew how to make pieces of work in a very beautiful way. And they asked him for the palace of the king of Morocco, that he wanted something to be done and that he will do something for him. They told him that he is the best. And the messengers went out to call Rabbi Chaim Ben Attar to come to the palace and to do whatever the king wants. And he said, I'm sorry, I'm busy. They asked him, what's the meaning that you are busy? The king is calling. So I'm sorry, I'm busy, I'm studying Torah. I have food in home, I don't need to work. If I don't have food, I would come to work. I would come to the palace of the king, but now I have. So when it would be finished, I'll stop studying and I'll come to work. So eventually they forced him to come to the king, and they threw him to the pit of lions. He went with his book of study, and he read it feeling, and said, fine, I'll continue. And he was sitting there, and the lions didn't do nothing to him. It's a true story that took place. And the king realized that this person is a holy person. He was free from vicious lions because he had total trust in the light force of God. But total trust. He had no king beside God. No king beside God. This is a very, very high level of belief. This is 100% trusting the light. And this is what we need to go to. It's not easy, but we need at least to get closer to that in order to have more miracles taking place in our life. And I would like to complete with the fact that Nachshon ben Aminadav was the person that jumped into the water. And the water reached his throat, and he was continuing walking. Why do we need to know that story? Why it's not enough for us that the 17 names splitted the sea? It's to tell us that Nachshon ben Aminadav saw the water like they were split already. For him, it was illusion that the water are there. He walked into the water as they never been there. Why? Because Moses said, the sea is split. So he saw it as it was done already. The same way that when a person wants a parking spot, he's not thinking, I will find a parking spot. He's thinking, the right thought is, the parking spot is already waiting for me. It's already there. Nachshon enters to the water and he said, it's already splitted. It's not that it is going to split. So for him, the water were illusion. Now just imagine to be in the water. You are totally wet. The water are surrounding you, getting to your throat, and you are saying it's illusion. It doesn't exist. To that level of belief system he got. So therefore, the small experiences that we go through life, each one of us, sometimes bigger experiences, are there to try to elevate us to a higher level of trusting the light. So the challenges are part of the process. The people of Israel had to have it in the desert, and we need to have it in our time. As it says that in the Zohar, that in the last days, towards redemption, towards Mashiach time, the same miracles that were in Egypt will come back. We need to understand that the same process of elevating our consciousness need to take place as well if we want to experience it. Because some people did not experience the miracle because they've died in Egypt. In the 3 days of darkness, they died. It says that Moses was saying, Pharaoh, give us 3 days to go away. And the people of Israel that trusted Moses left Egypt for 3 days, the days of darkness. But some of them did not believe to Moses, and they stayed in Egypt, and they died in the time of darkness. So therefore, again, we are going through processes in our life that sometimes we see it as darkness. And we need to trust the light, and we need to understand that God is there, and the light is there. And to believe that the Red Sea is going to split for me. It's already split. The miracle already happened. The soulmate, not that I will find the soulmate is already here. Just to manifest, that's all. It's already here. The same is with sustenance. The same with the health. It's already here. This is the thought consciousness that we need to have. God willing, that we'll be able to elevate our consciousness in that manner, to experience miracles in our life. And I wish to you and to all our friends all over the world, miracles, health, and prosperity in life. And happy Tu B'Shvat. I will just complete with 2 words about Tu B'Shvat. It says that the person is like the tree of the field. And this coming day is a very powerful day to bless through while we are taking the fruit and we bless upon the food, we should meditate that through that all the kingdom of vegetation will receive blessing, because from tonight till tomorrow night all the kingdom of vegetation will be blessed, which tree will live and which not, and what type of energy will be, and what is the quality of the fruits that we are going to receive. So God willing, that we will be able to channel proper blessing to vegetation, and therefore the food that will be in the world for the next year will be in better quality, more light into it, more health into it, and more places in the world will have prosperity, and that people won't be hungry for food, at least all over the world. Shabbat Shalom to everyone, and happy Tu B'Shvat.